You've done the right thing. You've insulated your ceiling. You've insulated your underfloor. But you're still cold. Best you finish the job. And to match your walls.
Well, look, I thought yesterday, and I got a lovely message from someone who says, yeah, you should, here's a good lawyer if you need to sue someone for defamation. And it made me think kind of the old days where we didn't go round screaming misogyny and then having female journalists calling people the C word, where there were different rules, and I think we were more urbane and we had better manners. But in the age of social media and algorithms, the world, it seems to me, has gone crazy. So I wanted to talk to someone who might just be able to take us back to a gentler, better time. And I could think of no one better than my next guest. He is a former politician, rose to cabinet level in the National Party, former mayor of Auckland, so he knows all about our biggest city. And, of course, he knows a bit about the media because he's been a talkback radio host. His name's John Banks, or Banksy, and he joins us on the line now. Banksy, how are you?
Greetings. I'm blessed. I woke up this morning, Shawnee. I'm blessed.
There it is. That's a good start to the day, isn't it? Look, firstly,
Very
John.
Good. It's a time of gratitude. And I was thinking about your wonderful iteration a couple of minutes ago about Hicks Bay. What a beautiful part of the world Hicks Bay is. I used to ride my bikes around there and onto that long, long wharf. I've ridden up and down there many times, but a beautiful part of the world. So congratulations on that promotion for the good people of East Cape.
Good on you. John, what are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm pretty busy. I've still got to earn money to pay taxes to this government and to fund people that I otherwise wouldn't have anything to do with. So I need to be pretty busy, and I'm working quite hard. So I'm a consultant. I work in the health sector and the property sector, and I enjoy it very much. I work with really motivated, focused, patriotic young people, just getting up in the morning and giving life their best shots. I like it.
Mm. It would be fair to say, John, that you fell, as I did, fell prey to wokeness when it was really, coming into its heyday. You were cancelled in terms of media, although you didn't lose a job. You were working for Radio Live for free, as I remember. And it caused all sorts of machinations and things as a result. Do you think woke has had its day, and do you think this current government has done enough to turn the tide against what used to be called political correctness?
Well, a very significant trifecta of questions there. Let's go back a little bit. Yes, I was working for that radio company for nothing because they had no money to pay me, and I thought the gig was worth what they paid me. So it was a good piece of work. Secondly, this country is woke central still, and witness this: 100 million reasons why it's woke central still, and that's just 100 million. I could tally up many more hundreds of millions, and that is the 100 million a year that this coalition government takes from us hardworking taxpayers and funds the left-wing woke central media of this country, the Goebbels machine, that every day of the week strikes back at them for no good cause other than in the pursuit of power and their own endeavours. And that's $100 million. So $100 million of our money goes to fund Radio New Zealand, Television New Zealand, and all those radio companies that you and I work for, and the one I got sacked from, a summary dismissal, are being funded by the taxpayers. Otherwise, the Andrea Vances of the world and the Sunday Star Post wouldn't even exist, Sean, wouldn't even exist without prop-ups from me that get up at 5 a.m. and get to work at 7 o'clock to earn money to pay tax.
And can I just add, the platform takes no government money, no taxpayer money. It's one of the...
Well, thank God for the platform. I mean, let's back up the bus a little bit. This word misogyny. I mean, I closed my eyes this morning and thought about some of the great Labor politicians of my time, and I could think of no one greater than Whetu Turikatini Sullivan, an absolutely role model New Zealander, a fabulous Maori woman, a beacon of hope, always said something with common sense, a lot of grace and a lot of dignity. Whetu Turikatini Sullivan. She wouldn't even know what the word misogyny meant. We didn't use those words 40, 50 years ago when I first went to Parliament. Misogyny wasn't a word we used. And the other word that's being used over the last couple of days by the Goebbels machine, this C word, is a word that I would never use, and I never thought it would be used in the media, and I never thought it would be used against women.
And more importantly, the woman editor of the Sunday Star Times has said she approves the use of that word in the context it was used.
Well, I think it's shocking. And the funding that the government gives these people to keep her in a job where she would be otherwise unemployed, looking for work, perhaps driving an Uber in Wellington, or working for the hapless Labour Party-Green Mayor of Wellington. If it wasn't for the government funding top-up and taxpayer funding, they would have been out of business a long time ago. In fact, Shawnee, I didn't know that rat bag outfit was still publishing.
They are under all sorts of banners. Look, you've had a crack, as you always did at the left, John. What about the current government? What about the current National Party Prime Minister, Chris Luxon?
Well, I want Chris Luxon to do well. I want him to do well. It's important that he does well, because the alternative is a different shade of Ardern, who borrowed $100 billion in 3 years that your grandchildren from that beautiful son of yours will never pay back. And so I want Chris Luxon to do well. He's incrementally improving, but the National Party lineup is quite shallow in terms of capacity and in terms of ability, in terms of focus, policy, concepts and principles. Quite shallow. I mean, I can put a couple up the mast. Nicola Willis, doing well. Paul Goldsmith, a standout. The other fellow down there from Upper Hutt, really
Chris
good.
Bishop.
But,
yeah.
Chris Bishop. But I'm very grateful that we have Winston there, in particular.
I was going
Shane
to ask
Jones.
you, of course, and when I first met you in the early 80s, were you flatting with Winston?
Well, Winston's still a great friend of mine, and if it wasn't for Winston Peters and Shane Jones and their insertion into this coalition, we would have a disaster. We would have a disaster. By the way, let's back us right back to when we changed MMP. What a disastrous experiment that has been. I mean, I promoted the same system they have in Australia, and that would be much more sensible. Only one other country in the world, of course, has MMP, and you know that, and it was set up in 1950 in Germany. They still have it. It's a disastrous algorithm for good democracy. It's hopeless.
I think
and
too.
So,
I think Israel also uses a form of MMP, John.
Well, a form of MMP, but not as bad as ours.
Yeah.
But coming back to the National Party, it's shallow in terms of ability. They're doing their best. They picked up an absolute mess. And also, the standout politician for me, and he came and worked for me in my office. He wrote speeches for me. I knew him when he was a 12-year-old, and that's David Seymour. He has done a very good job. He is a Trojan, and him and Brooke Van Velden, I'm very happy to have got the ACT Party there, and that has given a lot of solidification to the thinking of the National Party, and has kept them on the track. So without Winston, without David Seymour, this would be a Labour-light, Fabian socialist government.
Wow. Look, you were in your day considered, John, out there, right? Forthright, plainly spoken. When you look at the way that politics and media are conducted today, you would be a middle-of-the-road wimp, wouldn't you?
You've done the right thing. You've insulated your ceiling. You've insulated your underfloor. But you're still cold. Best you finish the job. And to match your walls.